Hi, Phil Ciccio here, founder of Success Thinking, creator of Think Yourself to Success, where we help people just like you get the results that you want through becoming more aware. And here's the thing. Over the last year, I've worked with thousands of people. And to me, it just amazes me how many people are living in a state of unconsciousness. In other words, they're completely unaware of their behavior. I have worked with people that I've been astonished the level that they're at, where they are totally out of control when it comes to their level of awareness, their level of emotional intelligence, if you will. And so I've been sharing this idea with people, and to me it amazes me that they have this aha moment. Some of these people, you know, they're pretty intelligent, they've got master's degrees or PhDs, and they have this awakening where they're like, whoa, I didn't even realize that this even exists, right? This idea of emotional intelligence. And so people don't realize this. They think that successful people are successful because of IQ, right? Their level of intellectual intelligence. But the reality is, studies have shown that it isn't your intellectual ability that's going to create the success in your life. It's your emotional intelligence. It's how you maintain your emotions, how you manage those, how you express yourself, how you show up, that's going to determine whether or not you're going to achieve. I actually read somewhere that IQ gets you a job, right? But emotional intelligence gets you the promotion. And so this is important to understand. It's not about how smart you are, although being smart's a great thing. I wish I was smarter than I am, right? But it's not about being so smart that's going to really create success in your life, because how many of you know somebody who's incredibly intelligent but isn't really that successful? So studies have shown that there are a lot of people that are incredibly intelligent, but they're not incredibly successful. And there's a lot of people that are incredibly successful that aren't incredibly intelligent. And so these people, what we've discovered after studying these people is that what makes them so successful is their level of awareness, right? Their level of awareness is high. Their level of emotional intelligence, maintaining their emotions, mastering their emotions is what makes them so successful. And so think about this. At the very lowest levels of awareness is where people are in fight or flight mode, where they're reacting to their circumstances. And most people live like this. They're reacting to their circumstances all the time. Whether somebody says something to them or they hear something off in the distance and they react to that, they're in a reactive fight or flight mode. Whether they hear something in the news that didn't make them happy and they react to that and it ruins their whole day or week or month or life, right? Whether somebody left them and they can't understand why they left them and it just completely destroys them because they're reacting to the fact that somebody left them. It could be a million reasons why people are reacting. It's a very low level of awareness. They're taking a circumstance and rather than responding to it at the highest levels of mastery, where we've mastered our emotions and we're responding to it and thinking about it, they're reacting to it. And reacting to something, reacting to a circumstance is negative. And the likely outcome of reacting, since reacting is negative, is going to be a negative outcome. Now, if we think and respond, if we maintain our emotions and we have high emotional intelligence and we've mastered our emotions and we're living at the highest levels of awareness, we're no longer in a reactive state, we're in a responsive state. And because we're thinking and responding, that's positive and the outcome is more likely to be positive. Let me show you what I mean by this. This is the formula that I want to share with you. So, circumstances are going to come into our life. We're going to have a circumstance. And then a circumstance, we have an opportunity. So let's say the formula is circumstance plus whether we react or respond equals our outcomes. Our outcomes. And so if we react to a circumstance, reacting to a circumstance is a negative way to approach a circumstance. And if we approach a circumstance with a negative approach, then the outcome is likely to be negative. Now, if we think and respond rather than react, thinking and responding is a positive approach to a circumstance, more likely that we're going to get a positive outcome. And so people don't realize this, but they're quickly reacting to things around them. And when we react to things around us, whether we're reacting or responding, our emotions are going to control our behavior. And so in our physical body, our behavior shows up in our physical body. And so if I'm reacting to something, that reaction to that is going to show up in my body in probably a negative way. The people around me are going to be watching me constantly in a reactive way, being negative, and that's not attractive at all. People aren't going to want to be around me. People are going to try to avoid me. And for us to be successful in our lives, we need to have people around us. And for us to have people around us, we better maintain our emotions and control those emotions and manage them. Now, if I think and respond and I control my emotions and I don't have highs and lows, then that's more attractive. That's a person who's in control. That's a person that most people want to be like. And so that's attractive, and that's where we're going to get people around us who are going to want to help us to become more successful. They're going to want to do things for us. And so you know that person that's a reactive person. They're running around like a chicken with their head cut off, and you're like, oh, stay away from that person. They're crazy, right? And so then you know that person that is just so cool under fire, right? They don't have big, real highs. They don't have real lows, and they're focused and they're in control of their emotions. Those people, it's not like they don't have circumstances. We all have circumstances, right? It's just that they manage their emotions. They respond to their circumstances rather than react to their circumstances. And because they do that, their outcomes are more positive. You see, circumstances are going to happen in our life, right? Our life isn't linear, right? We don't go through life going from point A to point B, and it's not linear, right? It always looks more like this. And all of this here is our circumstances. And so people that are reacting to their circumstances, they live in here. They're mired by these circumstances. They're reacting, and it's showing up in their physical body. And of course, it's negative. And so their outcomes become negative. But successful people that respond to their circumstances, they manage this, right? They manage the circumstances, focusing on what they want to, where they want to go, the goal, and because they're managing it, their emotions are in check, and their outcomes are more likely to be positive. And so, are you managing your emotions and thinking and responding, or reacting at the very lowest levels? A quick example would be this. So, we want our bodies to show people that we're in control. Because if we're in control of our body, right, if we're in control of our body, that means we're in control of our emotions, and most people aren't. So people admire someone who can be like that. And because if people admire you, they're more likely to want to be around you and help you and promote you and connect you to other people, right? I don't want to connect my network to people that are out of control. I want to connect my network to people who are in control. So let me show you this example. Let's just say that you were kind of working at your desk and you're typing away on your computer, and somebody came into your peripheral vision. They came into your workspace. Now, they've done nothing. They just showed up. All you're going to do now is you're going to turn up and look at them. Now, I want you to imagine for a moment that as you turn up and look at this person, they happen to be the person in your life that's the most annoying person you know. Think about that for a moment. Just now, unconsciously, in just a quick second, or maybe even a millisecond, because I mentioned the annoying person, you had a reaction to that, more than likely. And so if you were working and you turned up and Mr. or Mrs. Annoying was right in your workspace, what might you do unconsciously? Because remember, our behaviors are mostly unconscious. They show up in our body unconsciously based on our emotions. So I turn up, I see Mr. or Mrs. Annoying, and suddenly I do one of these, or I roll my eyes, or I slam my hand on my desk or something like that. I reacted to a circumstance. Well, that was negative. And because I've reacted to that circumstance, now I'm going to perpetuate that circumstance in my life. Because if that person annoys me and I reacted like I was annoyed by that person, what is the most likely reaction that person's going to have with me? They're going to react in such a way that's in harmony with that annoying thought I have of them that I've labeled them with. And suddenly, I've proven to myself that that person's annoying. My result's going to be negative. For every action, there's a reaction. If I have a negative action, there's going to be a negative reaction. Now let's change the scenario. You're at work, you're typing away, you're working at your computer. Again, someone comes into your peripheral vision. They've done nothing, but you look up and it happens to be somebody that you love. What happens to your physical body now in just a millisecond? It smiles, it's warm, it gets up, it maybe hugs them, it maybe shakes their hand, it welcomes them in. Neither of those people that showed up did anything, but your action is going to cause a reaction. What kind of reaction are you going to get from that person that you just showed that you love? You're going to get a loving reaction. So that reaction is going to be positive. And so your body is either acting negative or positive based on the circumstance. The circumstance has got nothing to do with you. Circumstances are going to happen. Annoying person is going to show up, right? That's got nothing to do with you. You can't control that. The only thing that you can control is the story you tell yourself when that circumstance happens. I can look at this and get annoyed by it, or I can look at this and find the good in it. That choice is entirely mine. And so if we want to really win and we really want to be successful, we cannot be in a reactive state. We've got to be in a responsive state where we're not allowing ourselves to drop to these low levels of awareness. We're focused on living at the higher levels of awareness where we maintain our emotions. So we have to get control of our mind. And so this is what I teach, is getting control of your mind. And so I want you to take a look around my website here, because there are various trainings and videos on understanding the mind and how it works. When you get control of your mind, you get control of your world. If you want to have a better world, you got to have a better mind. And to have a better mind, it's not that hard to do. It takes some discipline and some understanding, and they don't teach you this in school. So take a look around my website. Email me, watch some videos, take one of my training courses, do whatever you got to do to get control of this, because when you get control of your mind, you get control of your results. Thanks for watching.